71 of Speak On It. I am your host, Danny Ocean, as always, joined by the smoothest man on the planet, Losty Mix. We had a very interesting Sunday in our Dynasty League. How you living?
We're going to get into that specific Dynasty League draft as well as any other drafts that we've had over the last couple of days. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm feeling fresher than a new titty. I'm feeling fresher than Nelly in the Air Force Ones when he was stumping. Shout out to my Nelly fans out here. I'm feeling like Hove after Blueprint 1, Hove after the Black Album, Hove after American Gangster, feeling like Wayne after Carter 3, Drake after Nothing Was the Same, Kendrick after Damn. I'm feeling like I'm putting together maybe my best pieces of work right now.
Okay.
Specifically talking about drafting. The only thing, and I will knock on wood, the only thing I'm going to pray for is health of my teams. Because if they're healthy, I'm going to be seeing somebody in some championship games this season. And they play to their potential.
Hopefully it's me. Hopefully when I'm gonna do some live bargaining in a couple of minutes when Gator J gets in here. Gator J, after our draft, he put half his team on the trading block. So Gator, if you're here already, talk to me. And if you're not here yet, I'll wait.
There's some. I find it so funny that people right after the draft are ready to trade because it's like, hey, dog, you ain't gonna give your people a week, not even a week to piss you off.
Hey, man, like I have TJ Hawkinson on the trade block. Like if someone come talk to me.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a good tight. That's a good tight end one. TJ gets slept in. It's gonna be funny. Y'all know there's gonna be one tight end that's in the mid-tier category that's going to overperform their ADP.
Yep.
TJ Hawkinson and Dalton Schultz and Cole Kmet, top of my list of guys. If you have them, I think they're going to outperform their ADP. And then there's some guys I'm just flat out confused with. Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, guys that I'm like, you're a good player. I don't know. Like, I don't know. No.
Listen. Dallas Goedert might be like that. Bam is in the chat. Bam is a Ravens fan, and in our Dynasty draft, I'm going to throw this out there right now. I drafted Mark Andrews. So, Bam, if you're interested and you want to talk about Mark Andrews, send me a line. We can have a conversation.
You know, Bam, while you also listen to that, also remember that there's a man who throws Mark Andrews passes, and his name is Lamar Jackson, and he currently sits on my roster.
Ooh. Is Lamar on the trading block already?
Fuck no. Fuck, are you
kidding? Okay. Okay.
If he comes with a good trade, might be talking about something.
Okay. So we'll get into fantasy later. D, what is on the slate for tonight?
We have a pretty packed schedule for you all today. We're going to start off by talking about this blockbuster trade between the Jazz and the Cavs, which rocked the NBA. Then we'll get into a little football season. I know you guys saw the jump of the college football season. We'll get into that and what we're thinking about the college football landscape after week 1. And then, people, we're going to finish our divisional breakdown, and we save literally the worst for last in the AFC South. So we can't wait to get into that. We'll get into a few more NFL predictions, talk about our picks for MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and some other crowns. And then you guys know on the outro, we just like to do quick rambling stuff. So, of course, we'll get back into some of this fantasy stuff. We'll talk a little WWE, talk a little WNBA, and then we're going to talk. It seems like at least one person a year thinks that fighting Aaron Donald is a good idea. We'll be sure to talk about this year's contender of dumbass of the year. But Danny, let's start out in the NBA, of course.
Let's do it.
Basketball season is about a month and change away. A trade last week really rocked the league from its core. I know everyone out here thought Donovan Mitchell was going to be playing for the New York Knicks next year. Surprise, he's not. He is returning. Or maybe not returning. He's going to the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was announced last week that the Jazz and the Cavs agreed to a trade to send Donovan Mitchell and 2 pick swaps to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Agbaji, and Colin Sexton. Apologies right now for the mispronunciation of names. Really apologize that. Danny, They also had the Cavs also sent 3 unprotected first round picks in this deal as well. So Danny, I'm gonna ask you this straight up: what are your thoughts on this trade? Let's just talk about the trade. What are your thoughts?
Colin Sexton got a new deal too, right? He got paid. I think Colin went to Utah, signed an extension. Good for him. Get your money. I think this is good for Cleveland, right? Cleveland will never be championship contenders, but this makes them relevant. And that's all you can ask for if you're a Cavaliers fan. You have a young core. My question is, the thing that I keep hearing is like Donovan Mitchell doesn't play defense. We all know that. But now behind him, he has someone who can protect the rim. Didn't he have that in Utah? Like, isn't that what Rudy Gobert was? Like, didn't Rudy Gobert win Defensive Player of the Year multiple times because he could protect the rim? So I know Evan Mobley is behind him. I know Jared Allen is behind him. Unless they can move quicker, like laterally, like, isn't this just Utah? But again, like, I know that there'll be better guard play, but I mean, like, okay, this is cool if you're Cleveland. I'm glad you're able to pull this off. For Utah, Danny Ainge is on his normal shit. He gonna sell everything you love. He gonna sell you that hope for the next 6 years. And he gonna act like he gonna take all them assets and trade for a star. And we know Danny Ainge is not gonna do that. He's selling Utah that hope drug. Good luck, guys. See you in 2028. You'll never get a guy in free agency to come to you. Come on, dog. He did the same thing in Boston. He did this shit in Boston, and he's doing it in Cleveland.
I think the difference between the situation that you're referring to and where we are right now is that in this upcoming draft, I think Danny Ainge knows this team is not going to be good, and they're going to be a lottery team. And there's a lot of talent on this in this draft next year that I think Danny Ainge is thinking with all these draft picks, they have to have the capital to be able to trade for, Victor Wembanyama, or at least some of these other really, really talented prospects. And then I will also add, you don't know which of the lottery teams from last year are going to also be lottery teams this year looking to trade for some of this newer talent that was going to end up trading away the talent they acquired this year. That makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
So it's hard for me to just say Danny Ainge is going to sit on it because sit on all this draft capital because he's got some assets. There's some fresh new talent coming into the league. I think he might use this opportunity. Hey, I don't know, man. He could be using this opportunity to load up and maybe rebuild a different sort of Jazz team that definitely, as I think, includes Colin Sexton in its future.
My question to that is, so Danny Ainge, because he still has assets, you still have Jordan Clarkson, you still have Bogey. My question to Danny Ainge is like, what superstar is going to want to get traded to Utah, right? Because the theory is I'm going to have the capital and the assets to trade for a disgruntled star. Like, let's say Damian Lillard gets upset and I want out of Portland. And Danny's like, cool, I'm going. Like, who's to say Dame's like, dog, I'm not playing in Utah.
I'm not going to let you just send Damian Lillard, my fellow
I'm just using like, okay, let's
send a white man to Utah. What's wrong with you?
Okay. I'm trying to think.
Send Tyler Hero.
Say Tyler or LaMelo Ball gets upset and they're like, I want out of my current situation. Oh. And Charlotte's like, yo, all right, we're gonna send you to Charlotte. Like, I'm like, fuck, I ain't playing in no Utah. Like, what I look like in you? I mean, LaMelo might have a ball in Utah, but still, like, do you want to hoop in Utah?
Fam, I have stepped foot in the state of Utah, fam. Donovan, if you don't want to go there, if you didn't want to be there, I understand. All I'm gonna say is this. Don't be surprised if the next superstar, that disgruntled superstar that ends up very happy in Utah is a white one. I guess with this though, where do you think this trade puts both the Cavs and the Jazz in their respective conference? I think we're both saying the same thing about the Jazz. We think they're definitely going to be lottery contenders this upcoming season. So I guess when you think about the Cavs, where do you think this puts them in the power rankings or the contending ship of the Eastern Conference?
So I like to do tiers more so than power rankings. So in the East, my tier 1, Bucks, Celtics, Sixers, Brooklyn, they can win the championship. I have the Cavs in tier 2 with the Raptors, Miami, and Chicago. Okay. And Brooklyn is a stretch, right? Brooklyn is a stretch. That's just out of respect to Kevin Durant.
Damn. Okay. You need to switch Miami and Brooklyn ASAP like Rihanna. Like, come on, dog.
I can listen to that. Fine. We can put Brooklyn in
swept and tell me they can win a champion. They can't win a championship and tell me a team that got swept can win a championship.
I mean, we know the ceiling of this Miami team. We don't know the ceiling of this Brooklyn team. That's another franchise that's selling hope right now. Is Brooklyn? They sell hope better than anybody. But I mean, if you want to put Brooklyn in tier 2 and Miami in tier 1, that's fine. But for me,
They were the number one team. You got to respect that, though.
Yeah. But for me, they are in tier 2. They can make the East interesting, but they are not coming out of the East. But they can make it to the second round. They might even, if things fall the way, make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Which is, if you're a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, that's great.
Honestly, I see this Cavaliers team being a very contending force in the East. I definitely see them being a top 3 seed. I think when you add the scoring dynamicism of a Donovan Mitchell, mix that with a great two-way guard in Darius Garland, mix that with a defensive big presence of an Evan Mobley, along with the other pieces they have in this team. This is I think health-wise, if you keep this team healthy, this is a team that can easily win 45 to 50 games next season and be competitive. So I think this is going to be a good team, and I think Donovan's going to be pretty hungry to just prove himself, and he's got a really good backcourt mate in Darius Garland. So I can't wait to see how Spida and 10 kind of figure this out and kind of do this thing together. So and I will say this: I think Evan Mobley. How do I say this? Evan Mobley right now is not the better defender than Rudy Gobert. I think we both can agree, but I think Evan Mobley over time will develop into maybe a more versatile defender than Rudy that I think will help complement Donovan a little bit more. So excited to see where the Cavs go. And for the Jazz, I'm interested to see where this next step leads them. But let's talk about a team that wasn't involved in this trade that everyone thought was going to be in the thick of this trade, and that is the New York Knicks.
Yes.
Right? So the Knicks, as you know, they went ahead and re-signed RJ Barrett to that extension, which I think we talked about last week. So I guess kind of seeing you, I guess we see why they went ahead and gave him the extension, because they took themselves out of the Donovan Mitchell bidding. So do you think the Knicks are losers in the situation, or do you think they made the right decision by sticking with RJ Barrett with Jalen Brunson?
So one thing I keep hearing about the Knicks' point of view, it's like, does Donovan make you a contender? He doesn't. With that being said, he's the biggest superstar in the Knicks jersey since Melo was there, and Melo was the last superstar that won you a playoff series. So why the hell not? What else do you have to play for? Who's excited about this team as constructed right now? Like, who out here is like, oh man, I'm glad we missed out on Donovan Mitchell because I really wanted to see RJ Barrett and Julius Randle clog up the paint some more. Nobody, not a single soul. Is Donovan Mitchell a high volume scorer, a high volume shooter? Yeah. Who cares though? The Knicks pride themselves on star power. That's kind of the thing. It's the Mecca. I don't know why it's still called the Mecca. They've been garbage my entire life. But Donovan Mitchell's better than what you got. So why are you happy that you missed out on Donovan Mitchell when now you're fighting for the 8th seed in the play-in?
Well, I think so. I hear what you're saying, but I think it's bigger than just a play on the court, right? I think when you think about what this organization did in bringing in Jalen Brunson, and even if you see how they moved when they brought him in, they took their time introducing them. They didn't invite New York media to the press conference. They kept I think what they're trying to do is show Jalen Brunson, because his family is well connected with the organization as well, that this is an organization that values you, takes care of their people, and wants to win. Whether it may not be immediate, and I think even Jalen himself may know it may not be immediate, but you should, with the addition of Jalen Brunson, they feel like this team should be competitive. And I think what they're also trying to show and making sure they pay RJ Barrett the money, because he hasn't really done anything to lose his job. He just hasn't been as dynamic as the players that were taken in front of him, so to speak. So I guess what they're trying to show Jalen and RJ is that they take care of their own. They take care of their people. If it sends a bad message to other free agents that might want to come play with Jalen, whether you have RJ on the roster or not, that you can draft good players, develop good players. They don't play bad. They just don't. They're just not John Morant, and you guys still ship him to the curb. Now, if he goes to another team and he plays pretty well, that doesn't look good on you.
That's
you know
true.
What I'm saying? So I think it got to a point. It's like, all right, the Jazz want the house. We have a good player, and we have a new good player in Jalen Brunson. We think it may be unfair to just ditch our guy. When we got a new guy, maybe this team can be competitive. So I hear what you're saying, because I think from a strictly basketball, no feelings, no moral involved. I hear what you're saying. You got to get dude out of here. He ain't not John Morant. He not even Zion. But
yeah,
I think there's a bigger conversation at hand here. See some engagement in the chat. So Bam says fantasy is all business, no love for the favorite teams. I agree. What up, Gator J? I see you in the chat. He asked, what the hell was Danny doing at round 1, pick 3 by taking Josh Allen? Danny, I will let you go ahead with this one.
Well, we will talk about that later. Gator, we're going to have a whole conversation about our Dynasty League and my thought process and where I was. I will answer your questions later in the show. Bam said, did those BYU fans go to Jazz games? They absolutely do.
Oh,
ask, yeah. Of course, ask Russell Westbrook.
Calling Westbrook the N-word. I'm going to tell you.
Woo! Hello, Kyle. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. I forgot to do a little housekeeping. This show is brought to you by GoingFor2.com. Football season's here. Week 1 is here. It starts on Thursday night with Rams and Bills. Get all your daily fantasy needs, your desperate flex options, your best flex options, your waiver wires, your daily fantasy, your dynasty advice. Any kind of league you're in, redraft, PPR, whole nine. It's over at GoingFor2.com. Legitimately everything you need so you can win your fantasy team. And then you can look like me when I collect all this money come the end of January and I want to buy myself a nice bottle of whiskey.
So hold on. So with your winnings, you are going to proceed to buy yourself an expensive bottle of whiskey?
Yeah, one of the many things, right? Because the winner of the Dynasty League gets 800, right? Was it 5?
No. Which, the Dynasty or the redraft?
The Dynasty.
The Dynasty, there's 10 people, 8 is 7 and 1.
So 700.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 700 for me. How much is the redraft?
500 for the winner.
Okay, so that's 12. So I'm going to get $1,200.
Okay. People, I want everyone to know, in this redraft league, Danny thinks he is going to be winning money for winning the league, but I want everyone to know this league also has incentives. I think he's going to win one of the incentives. Oh,
the last place one? Dog, like I've done
No. Let's not win an incentive. Which, I'm glad we're speaking on this. For our redraft league tomorrow, like before tomorrow's draft, I'm going to make sure I send out a note saying, "Hey guys, I want you guys to know if you sent me your money, you agreed that if you come in last place, you are either going to leave the league or you'll be paying half of the winner's buy-in next year." I got to make sure that's no, because no one's
it's an $80 buy-in, right? So you go 120.
Extra 40. Yeah, you're gonna pay an extra 40, which depending on who you are, that 140 might elbow you a little bit.
140 or 120?
I mean 120. That 120 might elbow you in a little bit.
Hey man, prices groceries, man. My wife and I, man, let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Yo, I'm glad you mentioned that. Tyson, ain't no reason your chicken nuggets should be $8.
Oh damn! For some nuggets?
$8 for them damn chicken nuggets and them chicken strips. Yo,
dog, Tyson, chill.
Nah, they got to chill. Fam.
You know what? Let's talk about that. That feels kind of racist for real.
It's gotta be racist.
Like who buy most of your chicken, Tyson?
You damn right. Us, Tyson. Us.
Why are you charging so much for chicken, Tyson?
Man, they nasty too. And that's just for the smaller bag. Don't try to get the big bag. Now you're paying like $14, $15 for a big old bag of chicken nuggets.
Hey, but low key, Tyson do sound like the name of a grand wizard to me.
Got a grand racist wizard. I'll tell you what. You mean it? No, Tyson. There should be no reason why I can go to the poultry section and buy raw chicken for less than y'all selling frozen chicken nuggets, dog.
Hey,
I'm just trying to eat lunch. I'm trying to have a childish little chicken lunch. Come on.
It might be worth your while to go to like Costco, spend $20 and get like 3 pounds of chicken.
It might be worth going back. Look, Trader Joe's.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. I be disrespecting y'all like y'all's prices ain't legit. Y'all's prices are legit. I'm sorry.
Trader Joe's, man.
All right. Kyle said, I can confirm that I had no intention of buying Mike Tyson nuggets.
Yo, chill.
Kyle, let me tell you something. If Mike Tyson was selling nuggets, I think he would sell them for a little bit cheaper than Tyson, the American chicken nugget brand, is selling damn chicken nuggets. You should be. You know what? Before we get into college football, Kyle in the chat says, I'm also not sure if Tyson's chicken nuggets are available in Canada. Okay. I think that should be telling us something. Do you know Skittles are not sold in a lot of other countries, but they're sold?
Really?
Yes.
You know what? I saw a video about that too. Like chewing gum is not sold in other countries, but it's sold in America.
A lot of candies and shit. A lot of candies and food are not sold in other countries that are definitely sold in America. So that's either saying one thing: either y'all other countries are crazy, or our country does not give a fuck about what we put into our bodies.
The FDA does not give a fuck at all.
FDA, dog.
FDA doesn't give it.
Which is, you know what? I'm not going to go to my statement. Let's go into college football. Let's get back into some college football. So, Kyle says Skittles are definitely sold in Canada. Kyle,
thank God.
Do not eat those Skittles. And do not drink the Capri Suns. So over the past weekend, the college football season kicked off. It was already a really exciting weekend of games. So I guess, some early statements were made, Danny. A couple of teams: Georgia, Bama, Ohio State, plenty of teams. Florida also in there. Who do you think made the biggest statement over this past weekend in the college football world?
I'm going to go in a different direction and not a team that won, but a team that lost. Brian Kelly is still a fraud. Good luck, LSU. I've been trying to tell y'all about Brian Kelly for years.
No, dog. He lost on a missed extra point. What's fraud?
Brian Kelly is a fraud. Instead of
he lost on a missed extra point. They was down like 14 points before that.
Who else lose like that? Brian Kelly.
Atlanta Falcons, Los Angeles Chargers, Oakland Raiders, Green Bay Packers. I mean, brother, I can name you some teams. Any team that's coached by Scott Frost, Nebraska, the football team that is currently playing under Scott Frost. I mean, I can go on for days on teams that lose like this.
Brian Kelly is still a fraud. The other one I had is, we talked about it last week, Notre Dame lose to Ohio State. Get them the fuck out of the national championship conversation. We are good here. Thanks for coming by. We will see you next year. Thank you, Ohio State, because you won by, what was it, 23-10 or 24-10? That is a beatdown when we talk about two top 5 teams. Notre Dame, get them out of here. Thank you, Ohio State. All of America.
So I'm guessing. So I think we had this conversation about the Notre Dame and Ohio State games. I'm gonna ask you this. So I guess after the way Notre Dame lost, you're telling me that you don't think they're still a top 10 team.
Nope, not top 10. They are. I think they are top 10, but I think they are out of the national, like the college football playoff discussion. You lost week 1, and you do not play a conference championship game. That's 2 strikes already.
All the contrary. So as it relates to Notre Dame, I think Notre Dame is very, very, very much in the race to make a college football playoff. Let me tell you why. 1, Notre Dame was very much in this game for most of this game. They were competitive for most of this game until Ohio State just started flexing, we are the better team. So until they really started flexing that muscle, you could not have told me that one was ranked number 2 and one was ranked number 5. Yes. They were playing equal. Now, clearly in the second half, the team that was ranked number 2 showed why they were ranked number 2. But Notre Dame held their own for all of 35, 40 minutes of that game. And they only lost by a touchdown, maybe 2?
No, they lost by at least, it was double digits. I want to say 14.
Okay. They may have lost. Yeah, I think it was like 28-10 or
21-10, 11. Okay, so that's not as bad.
They lost by 11. Ayo, dog. I'm going to tell you guys right now. And this is not a Notre Dame Stan account. I did not go to the University of Notre Dame. And if you know me, I competed against the University of Notre Dame all throughout my collegiate career. So don't get it mistaken. I'm a Hokie for life. But as a realist, I'm going to let y'all know, this Notre Dame team, if they stay competitive and get to the end of the year and they're a one-loss team playing an undefeated Southern Cal and they win that game, lock them in. Lock them in. Promise you lock them in.
I'm afraid that you're right, and that's what makes me really angry. But I'm not going to go into that
Yo,
tonight.
it's okay. I'm with you because you know how I feel. We let Notre Dame get in at the 4th spot, and you know what's going to happen when they play Bama. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you there. But I also got to look back at the track record of this team. Yo, they beat good teams, and the teams they lose to just always happen to be them dogs. So they're always a good team that just can't beat them dogs. I can't fault them because they can't beat a Bama, a Georgia, a Clemson, Ohio State. I mean, you're just losing to the teams that always get the best recruits. But you're a team that gets the best recruits.
Let me ask you a question, because this isn't on the docket. How do you feel about the expansion of the college football playoff?
Sir, you mind if I have a few minutes?
The floor, speak on it.
College Football Playoff Committee. Because of you, I went from complaining that I had to watch Bama or Georgia versus Notre Dame to now I get to spend my time watching Bama or Georgia or Ohio State play fucking Utah State, Baylor for no reason. People out there, the reason why there are always 3 to 4 teams that are competitive every year is because there's always 3 to 4 teams that are legitimately competitive every year. Some of you, it's just okay if you make a bowl game and your team is all right in your conference. I don't know. I get it. All these universities want to make their money, and y'all should, because you see the TV contracts, you see what's going on, and you want your university to make some money too. Okay, cool. But what happens when the world has to sit there on December 31st and watch your bum ass school have to travel to Tuscaloosa or Columbus or Clemson or Athens and get their asses handed to them for 60 minutes? Playoff committee, you watched Georgia versus Oregon. We all did. It was good for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Because you know what happened? Georgia decided they wanted to play that day. They sat up in their seat, and dog, it was like men playing against boys. It was like middle schoolers playing with college kids. The weight discrepancy between these two teams. Fam, no. This is a waste of everybody's time. 12 teams? Fam,
12 teams.
Even when it was just 4, we all knew after team number 6, this shit is not competitive. What are we doing? Can we find what's the final rankings from last year? What was the final rankings from last year? Oh,
research. Yeah, look, I couldn't say it better myself. I feel like if you're going to expand it to 6, top 2 seeds get a bye week. That's it.
The next round, the first round, what is it? 3 and
6
4,
and 3,
the host 5 and 6.
Yep.
Boom. Now you right back. Okay. Let's look at the final college football ranking poll from 2021. Hold on. We need 2022, right?
No. Yeah, 2021, 2022. Yeah, 2022.
Yeah, 2022. I was looking at 2021. It's all about the money. I agree, Gator J. There we go. Final top 25 rankings after the college football championships. This is from Associated Press. We can go with this. It's the same thing pretty much. Georgia 14-1 at Georgia, Bama, Michigan, Cincinnati, Baylor, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Michigan State, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Utah. Guys, I'm letting y'all know right now, the opening round would have been Utah. Now, what y'all are going to sit here and tell me is that because I watched Utah beat up on Oregon, that now, all of a sudden, the same Utah team could go play against Bama. Oh, okay. Let's go.
Wait a second. Aren't there bye weeks now that they're 12 teams? Like, don't the top 4 get a bye?
That's even worse. Okay, so now we're giving Georgia. So riddle me this: if you put 2 teams from the same conference in the top 4, how the fuck can you justify a conference champion that won their conference outright not getting a bye?
Yep.
But somebody who didn't win their conference now gets a bye. Fuck this. This is gonna be some okay. BYU, when we see y'all next year have to go 1-on-1 against Georgia in the Valero Alamo Bowl first round college football national championship tournament, I want y'all to know y'all are gonna waste everyone's time. Dog, the best team in the Pac-12 this year, a lot of people think, couldn't even beat like the 4th or 5th best team in the SEC this year and be in Florida, who I think may be better than a lot of people think.
Yo, Florida was nice. Did you watch that Florida-Utah game? I know Gators here. That game was electric. Like I would stop watching the Notre Dame Ohio State game for a couple of minutes to catch Utah, Florida.
And that was a top 10 team that Florida made not look like they were a top 10 team. For most of that game, you couldn't have told me that the Florida Gators weren't ranked 7 and Utah was just an undefeated, unranked team. You know what? I'm getting myself worked up here. College football player, y'all wasting everyone's time. Whew. Let's shift from college football to pro football.
Let's do it.
This week, people, we're going to be reviewing the AFC South. This division consists of the Houston Texans, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Tennessee Titans, and the Indianapolis Colts.
The worst division.
Yes, easily the worst division in football. We know that. I'm going to let everyone know. I'm not going to speak for Danny. I don't have much breakdown for this division. We're going to go through the winner, the storylines, the breakout player, and the MVP. But let me tell you guys something. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have a Super Bowl winner coming from this division. I don't have nothing competitive coming from this division outside of the 53 men that play football on all 4 of these teams. So, Danny, I'm going to start by asking you, let's go through all of these teams' record, and who do you think the division winner is going to be?
All right, we're going to make this quick because I got enough for this conference either. And there's something I want to talk to you about later. So let's get through this. Last place, 1-16, 1-5 in the division, 16th in the AFC. The Houston Texans ain't shit about this team. Like, there's nothing about this team.
Yo, I know we said this last week, but how do you cannot tell me a professional football team over 17 weeks is only going to win 1 football game. You have to at least give them 2. You have to at least give them 2.
Someone in the chat tell me how Davis Mills gets them 2 wins, and I'll listen. In third place, 3-14, 1-5.
You don't even have them beating Jacksonville both times.
Nope, dog. There's nothing about that Texans team that I want to hang my hat on. Nothing. Absolutely. You got Brandon Cooks. God bless him. He's in hell. Dameon Pierce. He's in hell. Third place, 3-14, 1-5 in the division, 14th in the conference. The Tennessee Titans. All you got to do is load up the box, put 9 in the box. Ryan Tannehill, I dare you to beat me with your arm. That's going to be easy money. 6-11, 4-2 in the division, 11th in the conference. Doug Peterson makes a difference when it comes to quarterbacks, especially second-year quarterbacks. The Jacksonville Jaguars might surprise some folks. I'm really looking forward to that offense, what the Jaguars look like. And then win the division, 11-6, 6-0 in the division, 4th in the conference, the Indianapolis Colts. Frank Wright, you better get it right because Matt Ryan's the best quarterback you ever had. You got Michael Pittman, you got Jonathan Taylor, you got a defense. You should be able to run through that division. I don't care how that sounds. You should be able to win that division rather easily. You should be able to get double digits. You should lock up the 4th seed at the minimum and host a playoff game and have the Colts win the division. That's all I got.
Okay. Yo, I cannot believe you gave a professional football team 1 win in a 17-game season. That is hilarious. And I knew you were probably going to give one of these teams 1 win, and that's still funny as hell. Anyway, so I have at 4-13.
Okay.
Again, in 1-5 in the division, I have the Houston Texans. Man, they're just not a good football team.
No.
God bless them. At 8-9 and 2-4 in the division, I actually have the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think this is going to be a way better team than a lot of people give credit for. I think it was a few years ago, people were saying Trevor Lawrence is one of the best QB prospects we've seen since Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
Like he's a good quarterback. I think they're trying to build something. I think that's why they went out and they brought Doug Peterson in. As you mentioned, he's good with quarterback, second-year quarterback. Surprisingly, people, Jacksonville low-key keeps a decent defense around. Like they ain't no scrubs in the defensive end. I know you remember that nasty ass Jacksonville Buffalo game last year. They keep a decent defense on the field. It's just their offense is never there to really complement them. So I think this is the year they bring in Doug Peterson. I can easily see them being 8-9, beating teams that easily come in and take them unserious. I have them being 2-4 in the division just because I think they're going to lose some games in the division just because I don't think they're going to be quite yet ready to win those good divisional close games. I think that takes a level. So at 8-9, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Also at 8-9 with a surprising 5-1 divisional record and finishing 12th in the AFC. I have the Indianapolis Colts, actually. Listen, man, this Colts team is what I like to call a coin flip. And you just don't know which Colts team you're going to get. They're either going to be dynamic, they're going to play very good on both sides of the ball, or you're going to be looking like Jim Irsay did in that episode of Hard Knocks when he was wondering how the fuck did we lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars and all we had to do was win a game to make it to the playoffs with Jonathan Taylor on a historic season. So I think, this team's going to – they have talent at a lot of positions. So I just think this team's going to be good. And I think they're going to have the best divisional record. I think they're going to lose a game that they definitely should win, and it's going to set them one game back behind the Tennessee Titans. And the Titans are end up winning the division. Because I think the only team that's going to make this division is going to be the division winner, who I have right now at 9-8 and 4-2 division. I have the Tennessee Titans. I just think, I think they're a well-coached team. I think they know themselves and their identity on both the offensive and defensive end. I think, the addition of Treylon Burks with Ryan Tannehill. Don't forget they brought in Robert Woods this year. They have King Henry back, who I believe is going to be healthy. And I know everyone's like, yeah, you guys, split guys. Derrick Henry before last year did not get hurt, and before he got hurt was on his way to another 2,000-yard season. You're crazy if you don't think this guy's on his way to something crazy again. If he's healthy, I'm telling you, if he's healthy, people still don't want to tackle him. He's going to be just fine. I think this is going to be, a competitive team. I think you're going to be fourth in the AFC and host a playoff game, and I think that'll be the end of their season. What do you think will be the biggest storylines for the AFC South?
I'd like to switch my rankings to what you just said. That sounds like a lot better than mine. So yours are more close to what's going to be true than mine. For yours
just be flat out disrespectful, and that's why it'd be so funny. You cannot tell me a team only wins one football game.
Hey, dog. There's nothing exciting about.
We all watched the Lions go 0-16, so I guess
yeah.
And the Browns.
And the Browns. Yeah. Cost Hugh Jackson's job. For me, it's Doug Peterson. Like, as an Eagles fan, Carson made the jump year 2. Like, it was something about year 2. Carson played like MVP. I think Trevor is better than Carson. I don't think anyone who would say that Carson is better than Trevor. I'm really excited to see what Trevor looks like under a competent NFL head coach.
Man, I love that. And because I don't want to piggyback off of you, I'm going to say the biggest storyline will be the development of Davis Mills. Where, knowing that this Houston Texans team is probably going to be a 4, 5, 6 win team. I think the biggest storyline here is, is Davis Mills the guy? And if he's not, how do the Houston Texans use draft capital to acquire CJ Stroud or Bryce Young? Because when you think about, especially when you think about Mechie, who will probably miss most of this year, I bet you in the back of their mind, they're thinking, if Davis Mills is not the guy, we got to push all our eggs in the basket for CJ. Or Bryce Young. I bet you Bryce Young is probably at the top of their board because he has some rapport with Mechie already. And so that could already be something. But I think that'll be a big storyline, is development of Davis Mills and where they're able, because if Davis Mills turns out to be a guy and he can play, then it's like, yo, we figured out one position. Let's build around him very fast. And I think that team gets interesting if Davis Mills turns out to be the guy. So I think that'll be one of the biggest storylines. Who do you think will be the breakout player?
I'm going with Michael Pittman. This is the best quarterback he's ever played with. Matt Ryan played with Julio Jones, so he knows how to play with the bigger receiver, how to throw the ball up for them to get him. For me, it's Michael Pittman.
I like that. I got to go with his with his teammate, Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
And I know everyone, before you say, bro, he had a great season last year, I don't mean breakout. I mean breakout as in, I think he's going to go for a 2,000-yard season this year.
Oh, wow.
I think last year we just got a taste of him, pause, and I think this is the year that we really get a full load of him, pause. Word to Paul Pierce. But
no, you don't get to say a wild ass sentence like that and then just brush it off. No, dog, you don't get to say no wild shit like that.
No, I just need you.
Said that. You said that, and then you just gonna be like, "Yeah, the AFC South gonna have 2,000-yard rushers." No, dog. When you say pause on that, we got to pause. Like you just can't be saying no wild shit like that.
No. Okay, there's my pause. But I think I definitely see Jonathan. I think Jonathan Taylor eclipsing 2,000 yards will be something, and I can easily see this being the first time really in league history. Well, maybe in league history. I don't know. Maybe Kyle can research this. That we've had 2,000-yard rushers, because I definitely think we can see something along those lines.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who are 2,000-yard rushers. Jamal Lewis, Chris Johnson, Derrick Henry's done it. Kyle, have there ever been two 2,000-yard? Adrian Peterson's done it. Have there been two 2,000-yard rushers in the same season?
Hard. It's hard to have one 2,000-yard rusher.
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of which, and it's the only time, if you're a Vikings fan, I'm going to admit this. That year, Adrian Peterson was on his way. I was cheering for him to break that record. Because I was like, hey, yo, dog, we will never see this again. And the way this NFL is going, a 2,000-yard rusher, well, you're lucky. Division MVP to wrap up this division.
Trevor Lawrence. I've talked about it. I am all in on year 2 Trevor Lawrence.
Retweet. I also think he takes the step. Guys, I mean, maybe it's because I watched Trevor, what was it, in those last 3 years that he played. It's like, yo, this guy can play. He's a good quarterback. He's accurate. He's mobile. He's got some weapons now too. I mean, he's got He's got Christian Kirk, excuse me. Obviously, he's got his running
healthy.
ETN back. I think who's the other receiver that they just brought in? Is it Marvin Jones Jr.?
Maybe. Yeah, I think Marvin Jones Jr. is in.
They brought in some. I think they brought in some receivers that could help. I think, obviously, I don't think they're going to be. I think they're a true wide receiver one away. I don't think Christian Kirk's a wide receiver one, but I think he can be a really good wide receiver in a committee of decently good wide receivers. But I think if Trevor Lawrence takes this step, I could easily see the Jaguars going out and getting a real wide receiver one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, unless you got anything else in the AFC, which I don't.
Hell no, I got nothing.
I don't believe you do for the AFC South. Let me ask you something.
Talk to me.
Since the season kicks off on Thursday, who do you have as your MVP this year?
Before we jump into that, Cal has given us an answer to if there have ever been 2,000-yard rushers the same season. The answer is there's never been 2 in the same season, but there are back-to-back seasons with 2,000-yard rushers. Bear Sanders in 97, and then Terrell Davis in 98. Thank you, Kyle. We appreciate you. Back to your question. My MVP for the year, you've talked about it all offseason. I'm here. Jay Herbo, let's do it. I'm right. Like, I'm here. It's
Jay Herbo.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
To not also take your answer, I'm going to lean with another AFC quarterback, one that finds his way on your draft roster, hopefully on my fantasy roster as well. I'm going to go Josh Allen. Guys, Josh Allen is the real deal. I feel crazy that at one point I thought, who the fuck is this guy out of Wyoming and can he play in this league? Oh, brother. Now this guy is legit. I think this is the year. I think the Bills are. We know where I feel on the Bills, but I do think Josh Allen. I do think he's going to play incredible this year. I just don't know about the Bills overall. I know everyone says the Bills are going to be good, but you're playing a first place schedule and you are the hunted, and everyone knows that you're the hunted. Even the people who represented the conference in the Super Bowl know you're the team. So take that with a grain of salt. Who do you think is going to win this year's NFL Defensive Player of the Year? It's like 4 candidates, the same 4 candidates every year.
Yep. Everyone knows how I feel. Everyone knows how I feel about Aaron Donald. He's the best defender since Lawrence Taylor, but I'm going to change my pick this year. Myles Garrett, come on down. It is time for Myles Garrett to win his first Defensive Player of the Year in Cleveland. They're going to be on the field a lot because that offense isn't going to be doing much until Deshaun Watson gets there. I think you have Myles and TJ in a sack race. I think Myles wins, and I think Myles wins Defensive Player of the Year.
Man, this one's hard. I'm trying to remember his name. First off,
Jordan Davis?
No, It's funny because I typed in Jordan Davis, but that's not who I was thinking of. Thinking of the safety for the Bills.
Jordan Poyer.
Jordan Poyer. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going out on a limb here, and I think it's going to be Jordan Poyer. I think this Buffalo Bills defense is going to be very, very good. I think with the addition of Von Miller on this defense, I think that's going to allow Jordan Poyer to play a little bit more free. Wouldn't surprise me if he is near the top near the top of the league in sacks. Probably has like a handful of interceptions and maybe even a couple of sacks. I think he's going to put himself in a position to have a breakout season, maybe even win Defensive Player of the Year. I'm saying that because, defensive linemen always win Defensive Player of the Year because y'all gets the quarterback. It's hard. Outside of Stephon Gilmore, but he was just locking everybody up.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, so I'm going to name 3 categories, and I want you to tell me who do you think is going to end the season as the league leader in that category. All right?
Okay.
Rush yards, receiving yards, passing yards, go.
Rushing yards, Derrick Henry. I think he's going to flirt with 2,000 yards if not get there. Receiving, Justin Jefferson. I know the popular pick probably be Jamar Chase. I think Justin Jefferson is going to get it this year. Passing yards, I can't say Justin Herbert's going to be the MVP and not say he's going to lead the league in passing yards because he's going to lead the league in passing yards and touchdowns. So Justin Herbert's going to lead the league in passing yards.
Okay. Rush yards, I'm with you. I'm back on the Derrick Henry train, bro. I think it's going to be a 2,000 yard rush race between Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor. Selfishly, I hope they both win. But I think Derrick Henry is going to be the one who comes out the king. But I will give a couple of dark horses out here.
Okay.
Javonte Williams from Denver.
Okay.
Potentially. Austin Eckler, potentially, for Los Angeles, considering if they decide to get more balanced with the running attack. And Nick Chubb. Okay. Nick Chubb, because there's going to be 11 games where that team is struggling at the quarterback position, and I feel like he can carry them. So definitely can see Nick Chubb doing some incredible things. Receiving yards. This one's hard because there's a lot of dogs. I'm going to say Stephon Diggs, though.
Okay. That was my second.
Stephon Diggs. I think he's going to be in a high-flying offense. I think he's going to get a lot of volume in the targets. Plus, with the ascension of Gabe Davis as a solidified number 2, I think it's going to open up some things for Stephon Diggs. Passing yards. Okay, don't hate me if I go back here, but I think it's going to be Tom Brady again. I think Justin Herbert's going to lead the league in passing touchdowns. Okay. Why I think Tom Brady's going to lead the league in pass yards because one, I think the Bucs offensive line is going to struggle some. So I think Tom's really going to be getting the ball out fast, and I think the dink and dunk he's going to eat. Like I can easily see the Bucs being one of those teams that just dink and dunk and underneath slant, out route, comebacks used to death, just marches down the field because I just don't think they have the protection. Maybe not to start the season to really hold up and be able to take those shots downfield. I still think they will, but I think Brady's going to lead the league in passing yards there. Okay. Last question, and this is always a funny one because we're both going to be wrong here. Yes. But we should definitely try to guess. Who do you think is going to be the last undefeated team in the NFL? There's not going to be another undefeated team. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think it's going to be the Bengals. The Bengals have won really hard. So they play the Steelers Sunday, the Cowboys, the Jets, the Dolphins, and then they play the Ravens. If they can beat the Ravens on October 9th, listen to this. Saints, Falcons, Browns, Panthers, Steelers, Titans, and then the next hard game is the Chiefs in December. Like the Bengals come late November, we could be saying, hey, man, will they lose a game? I think they will lose a game, but I think they'll be the last undefeated team in the league. And they will probably lose on Sunday.
Okay. I'm going to sound crazy or maybe cliche because I'm looking at their schedule. When people hear the team I'm about to say, they're going to say no way because of their schedule. I'm saying yes way because I think they're going to be sneaky good because there's a new way they're going to play offense, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
So, yes, they started out versus the Cardinals, then the Chargers, then the Colts, then the Bucks, the Raiders, then the Bills, then the Niners.
Oh, that is a murderer's row.
So I think they are the last team to be undefeated as they go into the game against the Raiders on October 10th, right? So I think they're going to start out 4-0 and then especially after they go to Tampa, because I think they're going to go to Tampa and beat the Bucks for payback. For if you remember that game they played in Tampa the year they played in the Super Bowl.
I do.
And then I think the week after, they're going to come home to play the Raiders. And I think the Raiders are going to give them a game that they're not ready for. And I think that's going to be their first loss. Go ahead.
I was thinking Justin Herbert win MVP if he gets swept by Kansas City.
Man, no. But the Chiefs and the Chargers are going to split. Yo, most of the teams in the AFC West are going to split. I promise you. I promise you. It's just too many good teams. Okay. Let's get into the part of the show. We're just rapid fire. So I think one thing we want to start off with here on Speak On It Pod or end on when we get into this outro section, we gotta salute when a legendary career doesn't end but is moving on to the next stage of its existence. Danny, Serena Williams over the weekend likely played in her last tournament in the U.S. Open. Incredible. I mean, you can just feel the appreciation, the love, support, the admiration that I think all of us who have watched her throughout her career just show. Because I think for a lot of us, Serena was just a true mountain in the sport of tennis, and so seeing her get her recognition over this past weekend was incredible.
Yeah, the class, the competitive spirit. She's everything you want an athlete. I mean, she's the GOAT. I don't know. Sometimes it's just the easiest route is the simplest route, and she's the GOAT.
Hey, we've talked about this. She's on the Mount Rushmore of GOATs, I think.
Yes, she is.
She is easily just one of those. Speaking of mountains, there was a clash at a castle over the weekend.
Yes.
It wasn't on a mountain, but it was a clash on some rock. For those who didn't know, the WWE had their Clash at the Castle pay-per-view over the weekend in London. I'm going to be honest with you. In my opinion, it was a great pay-per-view. Danny, is Triple H bringing real wrestling back?
Yes, he is. I love the turn on Dominic. Rhea Ripley can make any son turn on his father. That was an easy decision. And I'm so glad Triple H did not put the banana in the tailpipe and give old boy Roman's titles. I forgot his name.
Austin Theory?
No, that too. But who did he?
McIntyre.
Yeah, I'm like Drew is not the guy who dethrones Roman Reigns. It is Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. That is the only superstar on the roster right now who can dethrone Roman, and it's believable. It's Seth Rollins.
It would be cool. It would be cool. What did you think of the return of Braun Strowman last night?
Dog.
I was like, yo, turn me the fuck up. If Triple H is running this, bring Braun Strowman back. Because Braun Strowman, when he first came, he was just fucking shit up. I said, sign me up for this.
I will say though, Braun Strowman in red jeans with tears in him, we got to get him something else because he looked like a Spice Girl. Like we need, that's not intimidating at all. Like I need some camo.
You think he's too big to be wearing that?
Yeah, he too big to be wearing them little tight pants with them rips in it. Like get him back in his fatigue with the onesie.
Then what? I think it's like you got to differentiate. This has to be a new Braun Strowman. That
yes, it does. It does.
So maybe
he needs something else because he looks like he belongs in the Miz's entourage right now. Like he deserves better than that.
Maybe. Okay. I don't know if you saw, but last week, another person, thought that fighting Aaron Donald is a good idea. This time, he picked a fight with Aaron Donald with pads on. Like that's going to help his cause anymore. Danny, why do folks pick a fight with this man?
I don't know, but Aaron Donald's gonna kill someone by accident one day, and then we're gonna be talking to him like he crazy. Yo, stop trying to fight him. He has otherworldly strength. He could kill you. And I am not joking. Like if Aaron Donald lands one and you do not have a helmet on, he will shatter your face. He will kill you.
Hurt. It's gonna hurt.
He can murder you with his hands. Dog, stop playing with him.
Nah, it's gonna hurt. Let me ask you a question. You remember that game in Cleveland when Myles Garrett had to do some straightening?
Yes.
Can you talk me through what it would have been like had that been Aaron Donald and not Myles Garrett?
Oh, he'd be in jail. There'd be censored clips floating on Twitter of Mason Rudolph being murdered on live TV. Like when we talk about Aaron Donald, dog, he is the strongest person in football. That would have been a murder charge.
Oh man, dog. Myles Garrett took that man helmet off. What?
Like Aaron would have shortened his neck. Like Aaron would have broke his neck. Like,
Oh
stop playing with
man,
Aaron Donald. Just
that's
stop it.
funny. All right, Danny. I know you've been waiting on it. Give us an update on the WNBA playoff. There were some great games this weekend, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you get a chance to watch Storm Aces on Sunday?
I did. I did watch the Storm Aces game.
That might be the best WNBA game in the history of the league. That was such an amazing game. But tonight there are 2 game threes. One is on right now. Chicago is at Connecticut. Chicago can wrap this up tonight and punch the ticket to the WNBA Finals. At 10 o'clock, the Aces play the Storm in Seattle. Same thing. If the Aces win, they can punch their ticket into the WNBA Finals. I think both teams will do it. Tonight, Sue Bird will play her final game in the WNBA, and she will lose at home in Seattle, which I feel like is fitting. She lost her first game as a professional in Seattle. She's going to lose her last game because Asia is that. Asia is your MVP. Anyone who had any questions, Sunday, 45 minutes, she had 31 points. Dog.
Ball. Hoops. Real.
I am looking forward to Asia versus Candace Parker in the WNBA Finals. The Aces beat the Sky 3 times this year out of 4. I think Becky Hammon, like the Aces have stars that are transcended to American culture. Becky Hammon is known for being Greg Popovich's assistant in San Antonio. It'd be great for the league if the Aces won. A lot of people associate Becky Hammon with Greg Popovich in the Spurs. I think the Aces are that team. Asia is a dog. She's already won Defensive Player of the Year. She's going to win MVP. And if they win the finals, she'll win Finals MVP and get that triple crown. She's it.
She's really, really impressive. I do hope that both the Aces and the Sky win, and I think that'll be a great series in the WNBA final. So, we'll see how these games play out, but we'll be here talking next week on the WNBA finals, I guess. When do they start? This weekend?
They would start Sunday. Yes.
Okay. So we'll be probably getting ready for game 2 by
though their spacing is really like they play they'll probably play Sunday and then probably won't play again until Wednesday. Chill, Bam. So Bam.
So for those who cannot see this comment from Bam, who are listening to the audio adventure, he said, after watching some WNBA games this weekend, I realized I'm a pervert and my wife wouldn't approve. Bam, these are some of the best basketball players on earth who just so happen to be women.
31 points in 45 minutes is what we need to be talking about.
Okay. Now we can get to what I feel like Bam and Kyle and Gator J are ready to talk about. So over the past a couple of days ago, people, we had our dynasty fantasy league draft. 10 teams, PPR. Really, really exciting league. It was a really, really exciting draft. Before I kind of talk about my team and my thoughts on my team, Danny, you want to just walk us through your starting lineup and what you're thinking about your team? I will say, let me just give people a little format on our rosters. So we have a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 3 flexes, a tight end, and 2 independent defensive players. So we should be suiting up 11 people per week.
Yes, which adds a lot of strategy. So earlier, Gator said, what the hell was I thinking at round 1, pick 3. For those who don't know, I picked Josh Allen. Jonathan Taylor was still on the board. He fell to UD. I think the first 3 picks were Justin Herbert, Jamar Chase, and then it was me. In my mind, my rankings, I wanted Chase 1, Josh Allen 2, Justin Jefferson 3. I know I feel stupid for passing on Jonathan Taylor, but I wanted to stick to the mock drafts that I've been doing for weeks. I wanted to stick to my board, so I drafted Josh Allen. Here's my roster. I'll just go through my starters. I won't go through the bench. I will say the last round, I took a flyer on Mechie. I know he's out. I know he has leukemia, but so far all signs are pointing that he's going to be back next year. I think the Texans will get C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young, so that's why I took a flyer on Mechie in the very last round. My starting lineup is Josh Allen, Javonte Williams, Cam Akers, Mike Evans, Devontae Smith. Listen, I know everyone is high on AJ Brown, and they should be. And I know they see Devontae as a possession receiver. But when I tell you Devontae is always open, like Devontae is one of the best route runners in the league. I think Jalen is going to be more comfortable throwing to someone who he sees is wide open, more so than him throwing to AJ Brown, who was covered, and trusting him to catch the ball. I think Devontae Smith might go for 1,000 yards this year. Like, I think Devontae is in for a huge year. And I know a lot of people are talking about AJ, and they should. Devontae is my receiver. Mark Andrews is my tight end. My flexes are Alan Lazard, TJ Hawkinson, and Juju. My defensive players are Nick Bosa and Jordan Brooks. I won't go into my bench, but I didn't like the team. Like, after the draft Sunday, I was kicking myself for a couple of hours. But then I said, trust your board, trust all those mock drafts that you've done, and go in with this roster. If I need to catch up on a receiver, I have 2 tight ends that I can use for bait to get what I want.
I love that explanation. I think I'm with you. Trust your board, trust your team. You didn't draft bad. You didn't draft bad at all. I think I do think you just weren't ready for Jonathan Taylor to be on the board when you picked.
Yes.
Which I can attest that at 4, I didn't even think there was a chance, because I don't know how many mock drafts you did where Jonathan Taylor fell to 4.
Zero.
I don't know.
Zero. I did like 40 mock drafts, and Jonathan Taylor never fell to me.
He never fell past 3 for me.
He never fell to me ever. Like, he was 1 or 2.
Yeah. I guess in my opinion, I'm looking at my team, and if you follow me on Twitter, I've pretty much been saying this for the last couple of days. I do not know how this league allowed me to draft this team. I've been looking at this roster, and there's just, if everyone stays healthy, like I said, this is a team that I think can contend easily right now and have draft capital if I need to make any moves. So I'll start with my QB is LJ8, Action Jackson, Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I got Jonathan Taylor at pick 4, people. I just need to say that again so everyone can hear this. Jonathan Taylor, I drafted him at round 1, pick 4. Insane. My second running back is Derrick Henry. My wide receiver 1 is Tyreek Hill. My wide receiver 2 is Deontay Johnson. My tight end is Cole Kmet. My 3 flexers are Allen Robinson, Elijah Mitchell, and Gabe Davis. And for my 2 defensive players, I have Roquan Smith and Fendi Alukun, the linebacker for Jacksonville. Apologies if I mispronounced your name, sir. I'm going to be honest. I'm looking at this team, especially the starting roster and the bench. I'm deep at some positions. I'm glad that this strategy and the thinking that I've had in all my mock drafts seemed to pay off. I definitely had, I have an overarching, I have players that I'm obviously going for, but I started going by trying to keep a certain number of positions on my roster at each time. And just kind of played out well, because as I was drafting, reading the board, just making sure I stick to that number per position that I needed helped me, take best player available. So barring, look, I just need people to stay healthy. I
will say, I'm mad that you sniped Elijah Mitchell for me. Like, I thought you were on the clock, and I was like, dog, if Elijah Mitchell falls to me, that would make my draft. And then you sniped him. And then someone sniped Calvin Ridley. Every mock draft that I've ever done, I've gotten Calvin Ridley in the 10th or 11th round. And he was coming back, and I was like, here it comes. I'm about to get my stash for next year. And 3 picks before me, someone sniped Calvin Ridley. I was not happy about that. But
so Kyle, for those who are following the audio adventure, so Kyle in the chat says, at round 1, pick 10, there was no way I thought CeeDee Lamb would fall to me, and he very much did.
That Kyle, Justin Herbert pick through everything in the blender.
So that's my question to Kyle, to Bam, to Gator J, in the chat. I guess when you guys saw Jay Herbo go number 1, and you saw how the first round progressed, did that alter you guys' draft board in any way? Did you move a player up or down based on who was on the board? I'm very curious, because I could tell as soon as Justin Herbert was taken number 1 overall, the whole league was like, whoa. Literally, everyone in that voice chat was like, "Whoa, oh, oh." Yes, and that's also another thing that should be stated. So for those who are following the audio adventure, Gator J in the chat says he got a triple stack coming out of Vegas. So he got, I believe, Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, and
Darren Waller,
which is Gator J. Yo, I hope that I hope that works out for you because boy, I can tell you, the first game that the Raiders have a struggling offense, you are going to be mad at yourself.
Gator J also has a few people on the trade block. Gator, come talk to me. We can have a conversation about it.
I'm glad you brought that up. So immediately after, for those for our listeners, so immediately after our draft, our man Gator J, who's in the chat right now, decided to put mad players on the trading block. Mad players on the trading block. To the point where someone had to be like, "Yo, you got your whole team on the trading block, and we ain't even played a game yet." So Gator J, I hope you get some business done there. Kyle in the chat, for those who are following the audio adventure, said, "No, I stuck with my board. I may have reached a little on Dak Prescott for the stack with CD Lamb, but that also might have been influenced by 3 QBs going in the first round." Yeah,
which is fair. Like for me, every mock draft I've done, I either walked away with Jamar Chase or Josh Allen. So I had to, I just wanted to stay true to my board.
Yeah. So Danny, now that we got one draft behind us, we have another draft ahead of us in a league that I think both of us want to win. Less about the money, more about the shit talking.
Yes.
I don't know. But this is our redraft league for our redraft league that I also commissioned. So I believe you're picking at what, pick 9?
9. It's 10 teams. I am 9th.
You are picking at 9. I am picking at 3. So I guess as you look ahead to this draft, what are you thinking? You don't have to tell me like who, but you know, in terms of how you're thinking this roster could be built from the 9th position, what do you think?
It all depends. Like I have 2 strategies. After Sunday's draft, I was like, I need a backup strategy in case someone goes off the rails with the first couple of picks. But I'm going to get an elite pass catcher, and I might get 2, depending on how the board falls. I know you're supposed to build through running backs, but at 9, it is hard to get an elite running back. We'll see how the board falls. I'm doing mock drafts all night.
Who said you got to build through running backs?
And this league the same scoring as the Dynasty League? You get more points for.
No, this is a standard roster, standard ESPN scoring. That's sleeper league. Our sleeper, our Dynasty league. That's a little. The points are a little adjusted because we don't have any kickers or defenses.
Yeah, so like I have to look at the scoring, but I feel like having
PPR scoring, PPR scoring.
Having a pass catching running back or running back with versatility is extremely valuable. So it depends. Like I have 3 in my mind that will fall to me, and if all 3 are on the board, I will focus on the elite pass catcher first, and then I'll catch the running back on the back end because. Again, I'm 9th, so someone's going to pick twice, and it's come back to me. We'll see how the board falls to me.
Yeah. You see, I guess after last year really woke me up in terms of my fantasy draft strategy when it comes to running backs. Because the thing about running backs is, if you have an early pick and you get one of them running backs, then essentially, if they get hurt, you are done. You are it's finito. Versus like if you have, and I don't know how to say this. I've noticed that the players or the people who get like a Justin Jefferson or a Jamar Chase or someone like that in the first round, long term, like as the season goes on, their team is still very good because how do I say this? I don't want to say receivers get hurt less often than running backs, but that's kind of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, they get tackled less. Like they're not put in danger as often as the running back is.
Yeah. So like that's why this year I'm trying to play the board, but I'm also playing my position. I'm lucky this year that in my redraft, well, in all my leagues, I've either gotten pick 3 or pick 8 outside of my work league where I got pick 6. But I've gotten pick 3 or pick 8, which leads me like they're essentially the same positions as the opposite ends. And it's been mad easy to do mock drafts and figure out players that I want to target. I will say picking 3 is interesting because you're going to Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey are going. So it's like I can either start this thing off by popping some shit off, or I can pick Austin Eckler at 3. I think that's been the consensus number 3 I've seen. But okay, this is going to sound, I don't want to jinx anyone, but Austin Eckler being very healthy last year makes me hesitant to draft him this year.
I mean, again, that's something you have to think about. Like,
He
I think
he was so healthy last year that I was like, and I'm knocking on wood, but you get what I'm saying?
yeah. Like I'm happy I'm drafting at 9 because the board, like it'll be very clear on which direction I need to be going in at 9. Like it'll be very easy for me to say, all right, this is how we're going to do this thing. But
But
people,
I guess go ahead.
I was going to say, Devontae Smith, hear me when I say he is going to go for 1,000 yards.
I hope so. Last thing before we get out of here, I know last week some people were asking me to keep them updated on my roster for my work league.
Yeah.
So I wanted to read everyone the starting roster. This is a 12-team PPR league. If you know me, I am not a fan of 12-team leagues. I don't like them. It's hard to build a really good team. You got to go get in depth with it. Anyway. So for this 12-team PPR league, we don't have defenses. We instead replace them with an extra flex. So here's my roster. Lamar Jackson, Elijah Mitchell, Dameon Pierce, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Kyle Pitts, and then my flexes are Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rashad Bateman to go along with the Lamar stack, Robert Woods, and then I have Tyler Bass, the kicker from the Buffalo Bills.
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, for a 12-team league. See, 12-team leagues just throw me off, dude, because in my experience, I've probably been in like 5, 6, 12-team leagues over the course of years, and it's always the same thing. It's a lot of teams who are efficient to score over 100 points, and then you have this one random team who has like 4 top 5 players at their position, and I'm like mad confused how we let this guy draft this team.
What's the team?
I don't know who that team is yet in this league, but I'm gonna find out soon. I'm hoping it's my team. But it's the same thing that happens in 12-team leagues. Gator J, Kyle, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for participating in the Dynasty League. Really glad you guys are enjoying it. Really hope you guys have successful seasons, not too successful because I'm trying to win this league as well. But appreciate you guys being in here. Danny, you got anything else, man? We covered a lot, man.
We covered a lot. It was a lot of fun. Question: the loser of the Dynasty League, is it the same as the redraft? Like the loser either has to leave or they have to?
Nah. So this is the thing with that Dynasty League, and I noticed it even in the draft. That the Dynasty League is 10 smart, good fantasy managers that I actually trust. No one in that league is going to make any trades that fuck everyone else over. And it's a Dynasty League, so you're only going to hurt yourself because you have to keep that team.
That's right. Bam feels hurt that you didn't mention him.
Oh, Bam, I didn't mention you? My bad, dog. I thought I did. Bam, of course. You too, big dog. My bad. But yeah, so I thought about when we originally put this together, I thought about a punishment. But then when I started hearing when the members of the league came in, I said, nah, these are 9 or 8 other smart fantasy players. They're not going to do anything stupid. Honestly, what I think is going to be hard is making trades in this league.
Yeah, like
because you're not going to fool anybody. You are not going to fool anybody with some bullshit.
I am excited. I'm a little nervous. I'm trying. Like there are a whole lot of people.
Because like people in there, I could tell they came in with some strategies. When people start mentioning, I'm going for the stack, A, B, X, Y, and Z. I said, oh nah, I gotta be at my P's and Q's. Y'all not playing. Yeah, nah, y'all not playing.
Like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It is gonna be a lot.
Shout out to Bam. Have the police
let people know where they can find you, man.
Find me on the Bird app at DannyOcean41. Follow the pod. Speak on it _pod. Instagram and Twitter. We're having a lot of fun. We're going to talk a lot. I know this isn't a fantasy show, but we're going to talk a lot of fantasy this year. This has been a lot of fun. D, where can the people find you?
Yeah, people, you guys can follow the boy at Los Demix. That's LOSDEEMIX. As always, we will make sure that you guys, if you're listening on any of the audio platforms, make sure you're leaving plenty of reviews, plenty of stars. If you guys are following on YouTube, make sure you guys are hitting the subscribe button. Make sure you're following both Danny, myself, and the pod on all social media platforms. Other than that, appreciate the love. And if you are hearing the audio adventure and ever feel like pulling up to the video adventure with Gator J and Kyle and the rest of the guys who are always here every week, make sure you guys pull up around 7:20, 7:30. We usually get this thing on and popping, and so you can follow any of our social medias to stay up to date with that. And with that being said, Danny, I know last week I played us a little music to kind of send us out to. I guess I'll play what I've been listening to a lot over the last, a little bit of what I've been listening to a lot over the last week. And this is going to be a little cliche, but I need y'all to really hear what my man Hove was saying when he got to talking on God Did. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And you know that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with it. Much love to the people.
We out.
And if anyone ever asks you who the greatest rapper of all time is, the answer should be Sean Corey Carter Knowles or Jay-Z or Hov.
No, not Knowles. Yo, we out.
And if it's anybody else, they lying.
Yo, it's week 1. Y'all have a good one.
Go Pack, go, baby.